G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, just at work updating the Tesla for full self-driving, which I'll be making a video on, will be already out by the time you see this video. But while it's updating, it's about 50 minutes, I thought I would take a moment to make a video on it's basically what I use to make my videos, so what cameras, that sort of stuff. No one's asked in the comments. I'm not going to sit here and go, everyone's been asking in the comments what camera I'm using. Just thought I would make this video for anyone else that watches and, you know, starting out, not sure what to get, not sure what to do. Just my experience with it. I'm no professional. I'm no, you know, I like to think I absorb a lot of YouTube content. I watch freaking hours of it. I watch other people's content. I see a lot of people that they go straight to like a digital SLR camera, whatever. It's my experience anyway. You're free to disagree. They're too zoomed in. They're shaky. If you have something zoomed in and you move it, that angle of that movement is way more exaggerated. If you're just using a phone, my opinion anyway, a phone is literally better than any camera you can buy on the market unless you are a professional and you know exactly what you're doing and how to edit it, I think anyway. Most content I watch where people use real cameras is garbage. It makes me sick. You get motion sickness watching it because it moves around so much. Anyway, that aside, I'm not getting into that today. This is just going to be what do I use and how do I do it. So I'll run you through everything's in my camera bag and I'll show you the setup that my camera is currently being held by, what my future plans are, and how I set cameras up in the car. So let's get into it. Hopefully you guys learned something, hopefully valuable out of this, save you guys some money, and you can improve your videos. All right, so for this part of the video, we're going to break the third wall or whatever they call it. So I use a tripod. It's just a little JB $100 Johnny boy from JB Hi-Fi. It's then got a 360 cam on it to make it higher because it's too short and it always ends up filming too low for me. Then this is version 2 of one of these. It's a small rig phone holder. I'll show you my plan for it, but this is basically how I use it for now. I hold it mostly on this one. If I want to film upright for Instagram Reels, I hold it that way. I bought that because I started with one of these. It's $20, $27 or something. Spring loaded, it's plastic. What I got sick of was, I'll show you, I don't know how I'm gonna film this. I'm just gonna film it with that Osmo Pocket, which I'll get into later, but I'll show you now what I'm talking about. All right, so I've switched to the Osmo Pocket. The Osmo Pocket is great. I'll get into it later, but just for now, what I found was I was always holding my phone like this. So I was trying to film selfies like that, and my either hand would touch the screen or the phone would slip out of my hand and do that. And I was always bending these little USB-C, these were always breaking. And they're $40 just to buy one of them little things. So I got the bright idea to get myself one of these. I can hold the phone, if I drop it, not gonna hurt that. It's a lot more protected. It's also easier to hold so that I'm not touching the microphone at all. So that was awesome, but it's plastic and quite flimsy and it's kind of hard to hold and it's not the greatest. It's pretty big and bulky, but it is lightweight and it's very easy. So I'd highly recommend something like this if you're filming a lot with your phone, because you can also hold it a lot steadier. You don't rock around as much as if you're just sort of holding your phone, you know. Anyway, drawback to using something like this was every time I wanted to put it on the tripod, I'd have to screw it on and unscrew it, and it sort of got annoying. So I ended up buying this, which is like a quick release thing. It was like $30 on Amazon or whatever. But what happened was I put that on my tripod and I put my phone holder on it. Within 10 minutes, I dropped my phone. I knocked the tripod and it fell over. So what ended up happening was once it's attached, it's quite flimsy because it stretched, like it bent that lower piece that attaches it. So basically after 20 minutes of use, it was garbage. It's going in the bin. So while I was shopping around, I found this and decided to buy that. It's quite heavy though, but I'm also going to get another quick release for it. I did get this thinking it was quick release, but it's basically just a quarter turn to cold shoe. It's not a quick release at all, and it just offers tilt function. So this is going to be handy to have anyway. It's not a total waste, but it's not going to do what I want. The plan is to get a different tripod anyway. So to replace this one, just because it's a little bit lightweight. I always never understood why there was a hook on a lot of tripods on that little piece. So you can hang your bag off it to keep the tripod weighted down. So if you like tilt something over, it's not going to fall over. So plan is to get a better tripod, which I'll be ordering eventually. It's about $400 for the one I want, which is a Ulanzi JJ06, and it can tip that whole arm over, and then I can do overhead cameras. Overhead shots are working in the engine bay, and I can hang a bag or something off it to keep it stable, so it's not going to drop in the engine bay, which is what this one currently does. If I tilt that over and then extend it out at all, the camera, well, my phone is too heavy, like that can come out like 4 foot or whatever, but any more than about that, and the whole thing tips over. So what I used to actually use though, before using these style of things, before using those, was I used to just use this, so it's just a quarter turn quad lock adapter, and I had a quad lock case for my old iPhone 16 Pro Max, and you could just hook that to your phone and use the tripod. So it was nice and simple, and just, you know, quarter turn of the phone and off it comes. But when the 17 Pro came out, quad lock didn't have any cases in stores, so I didn't buy a quad lock case. I don't plan on buying a quad lock case because they're actually quite annoying to use any MagSafe accessories with. So I plan on going non-quad lock on this phone for as long as I can and see how it works. So that option was no good for me anymore. Straight away, not needed. Now I do obviously have some of these too, which are just spring loaded. I just don't like how they hold the phone, they're not very secure. So they're okay. Like I used to use these as, you know, I could hook this into an engine bay or something, but I find the bigger tripod is much more useful for me now. What my ultimate plan is for this rig, once it starts getting built out more, is this is a MagSafe charger. Watched a couple of review videos, this seemed to be the best one, 10,000 milliamps. Is I was gonna attach that into there instead of my phone, and then I can just MagSafe my phone to that, and that works great, but it becomes very heavy. I do also plan on getting a Lexa external SSD for my phone with the USB-C hub, which I can put a picture of that in, and that will bring a little bit more connectivity, because then I can have a charge cable, the microphone adapter, and the external hard drive all plugged in at the same time. But that again is another $500 that I don't need to spend right away, so not in a rush to do that. So running through the rest of the stuff. Now, I typically film, I set up this on the roof, GoPro, either on the windscreen or on the roof. Sorry, not a GoPro, it's a DJI Action 5. I've had GoPros over the years, they always seem to overheat and turn off and super unreliable. This thing is a beast. It has never once overheated on me, never once turned off, never once corrupted footage, never had a single issue with it. Does awesome time lapses. I can plug it in USB-C. I run it for 20 something hours straight in the car. It never overheats, doing time lapses anyway, not 4K, 60 for filming, but time lapses, never overheats. The only issue I had was when I was attaching it to the roof on this mount, it always sits that little bit too high and captures too much dashboard. So I then bought some of these, which I haven't actually tried yet, but I will be using today for my full self-driving video. I've got 3 different sizes, they're just alloy so they don't flex or anything. Just like your typical GoPro extenders. So I can drop the camera down a little bit lower from the roof and get a better camera angle out the windscreen better. So that will, I've used that a lot in Tesla videos and in racing videos. I don't really use it while filming working on the car because it distorts the image too much. I find that the camera just works better. I did buy the Creator Combo or whatever, which comes with 3 batteries. But I typically find I never go through more than 1 battery when I'm filming. A couple of old, what are they, PGY Tech mounts. I guess DJI bought a patent for it or something, but they basically are now, because that's the actual DJI mount, came with the Osmo. So it's exactly the same as the PGY Tech mount. Whoever had that design first, I don't know, don't really care. Other thing I film with is a Insta360 X5. I used to have the X1. It was pretty good, but the lens got scratched and the footage came out pretty crappy. Let me just put my phone down to open this. So yeah, in the end, the lenses got scratched and the sun would really affect the quality of it. Taking a little bit better care of this one, keeping it always in its little pouch. Also, these lenses are replaceable, but the video quality is much better from this. It also is better battery life and stuff. Only downside to this is it chews battery still. I probably should get a second battery for doing track events because I spend too much time in the car with this turned on, so I don't have to get back out and turn it back on. So yeah, a second battery would probably help me, but what I usually find is I bring a USB charger. I'll film during the morning and then I just put this on charge like during a lunch break, and then it will also last me the rest of the night, the rest of the afternoon. Yeah, then, oh, almost lost it. Now this Osmo Pocket gimbal, I got this about 2 years ago to use as my main camera instead of using iPhone to film. But I did about 2 videos with it. I did about 5 videos of it. I think only 2 ever saw the light of day. 3 of them never did. It is just incredibly frustrating to film under a car with a gimbal because with a phone, you just point it at what you want to film. With this, you point it up. It doesn't always go up. You point it down, it doesn't always go down enough. Anyway, it gets very hard to track what you're trying to film with it. So I barely use it. It's probably been 12 months since I've even touched the thing. Probably should sell it. It's still a current model. But yeah, awesome footage, awesome to do rollers out the window, but it just really does not work for what I film primarily. It is pretty good to do tracking, like you can double tap on the screen, it'll track your face and all that sort of stuff. But I really find for what I film, it's not very useful. iPhone definitely does a better job. Now, moving on to audio. My biggest pet peeve in videos is crap audio, and I've been guilty of producing videos with crap audio because either due to wrong settings or wrong equipment. Now, started with a DJI Mic 1 set. It totally improved my audio because it brought the microphone closer to me. And at the time, the iPhone audio wasn't great. I think that was around iPhone 14 maybe. Loved it. Wasn't making heaps of content back then though, so it wasn't used much. Ended up selling that when I bought my Osmo Pocket, which came with the Mic 2. I was gonna sell my Mic 1 to buy a Mic 2 set, but I ended up deciding against that and went with a Mic Mini. So this is the Mic Mini. It's tiny, and you compare those mics with the Mic 2. They're tiny, and the receiver is tiny, but what I found was the receiver on the Mic 1 had a screen on it, and you could see the audio levels. With this, you can't see the audio levels. So I actually found this was quite frustrating. Never quite knew if I was talking too loud or the mic was too close or anything like that. The other issue I found with this was it was really quiet. So I also broke the USB-C on this set, and you couldn't buy a new one of these, a new connector at the time. So I ended up just buying a second set because they were on special for like 190 bucks. So I thought at least then I've got 2 of everything, which actually worked out well because since then I've lost I've lost magnets and whatever, and after one day of buying this set, I dropped my phone again and busted this. It's a little bit floppy. So it still worked though. When I broke the first one, it completely stopped working because I had it in my pocket and sat down, and this just bent really bad and it completely died. When I dropped this one, it just got a little bit floppy, but it's pretty hard to show, but it's just a little bit floppy in the metal piece in there. Anyway, so I put up with it for a bit and just pushed through it, but audio was always really quiet. And if I ever tried to bump up the settings, because if you turn this, it does nothing. That only works when you've got it plugged into a camera with this or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, audio was always really quiet. It used to frustrate the hell out of me. Then I saw that the 3 came out, so I bought the 3. The 3 has been awesome. It also has, I'm just going to pull this microphone off as well. It also has a pretty small microphone. I'm currently recording with this one, so So anyway, back to my shirt. Oh, losing my magnets, hang on. So it also has, yeah, obviously the small mic units, but it has a screen on the lens, on the receiver. So obviously, yeah, when I'm using this, I am trying to hold it and whatever, and like, you kind of end up holding your phone like that. When I had the Pro Max, it was even bigger and heavier. Wanted to fall all the time, and I would accidentally bump the screen. Now, screen is currently locked, but at the time when I first got it, I didn't know you could lock it. And when you first start bumping it, the first thing you basically do, not settings, yeah, if you touch it and touch that, it's now muted. I don't know why anyone would want that. So I accidentally muted it once and then just swiped off, and other than that tiny little mute logo, you have no idea it's muted. So I actually ruined one of my videos once. So now I hold that, which locks it, and then I put it in my holder, and then I hold it like that, and I don't go anywhere near the screen, and it works perfectly. I also use this, it's just the A-Logic USB-C to SD adapter, super handy, works really fast. Some SD adapters are super slow, this one works really fast. Transfers like 130 megabytes a second or whatever. Then I just keep a couple of spare SD cards and stuff. I pretty much always have an SD card in any device, plus some spares. Try and keep everything always charged. So I'm always sort of prepared for an event, because I always have a habit of forgetting to charge before an event. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the video. So before I pack everything away, I've decided what I am keeping in my bag. Now, it is just a Targus laptop bag. I keep cameras in the front pocket and microphone holders. Next pocket is like all their holders and adapters and all that sort of stuff. Back pocket is I chuck my laptop or iPad or something in there if I'm traveling. And that's about how I use that. Now, so everything that's going back in the bag is Mic 3. I've got one of the Mic Minis in there. The second one that's missing stuff is just going to be left out. I'll keep one of these just in case. SD adapters, spare USB-C plug, Osmo Action adapter, different length adapters, one spare adapter for that. I'll keep that in there, 360, spare batteries, Osmo Pocket Action, and the Osmo Pocket. I'll probably list the Osmo Pocket for sale, because I really don't use it anymore. And I don't really go to car shows or anything, so I don't really need B-roll gimbal footage. And my wireless phone charger will also be getting kept in there. So that is all I'll be using for now. And I will be replacing my tripod at some point, my Evil Hawk. And yeah. So anyway, that is pretty much the end of this video. Not a super in-depth video, but just shows what I use and how I use it, roughly. My thought process behind it. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next video.